This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
I hope the weather's nice like this tomorrow.
Eccoci. Buongiorno a tutti. Allora, niente, iniziamo a restare la partita qua. Allora, andiamo qui. Assumero.
Perfect. It's you two. I have a commission here that has your names written all over it. In fact, I'd even go so far as to say you're the only ones for the job.
The only ones for the job? Huh. If I...
The Adventurers Guild doesn't employ that kind of classification system. In fact, this commission is all it asks us to do is to find a missing person.
Una persona scomparsa.
Huh? Then why did you say we were the only ones for the job?
I came across this commission while reviewing our backlog not too long. It seems simple, but our records indicate that over a dozen successive efforts to complete, with the reputation of the Adventurers Guild and the performance of the Sumeru branch at stake, it's in our best interest to assign this commission to the adventurer with the highest completion rate over the past few years.
Well, that's us for sure.
All I'm asking is for, if it proves to be beyond your capabilities as well, I'll talk to the...
Okay, so who are we looking for? And what is it about this commission that's made it so hard to complete?
This commission was jointly issued by the residents of Vimara Village. They say one of their own, but the problem is, they don't know the missing person's name. They can only...
They're all from the same village, but they don't even know his name? If so many adventurers have failed to complete this commission, maybe this missing villager...
Unlikely. Several villagers came by to issue the commission, and judging by their appearance and tone of voice, they seemed incredibly sincere. Besides, putting up a commission requires a processing fee. There aren't many upsides to a prank that costs more. In any case, it would probably be best to go to Vimara Village and ask around first. The Adventurers Guild does have some information on hand, but I would say anything you can learn directly from the villagers would be far more reliable.
All right then, let's go! I'm starting to get really curious.
Favole della buona notte. Già questo intro mi piace, adorando le favole. Allora, dove dobbiamo andare? Qua sotto. Teleport, per forza questo.
We made it to Vimara Village! Why don't we talk to some of the villagers to learn a little bit more about the missing guy?
Hello there. You looking to buy something?
No, we're adventurers. Catherine sent us to look into it.
Ah, so you're here about that, then. You're not the first. To be honest, we aren't holding out much hope. Many adventurers have made their way out here, confident they'd be able to help us. Only to leave, we've pretty much had it up to here in questions, and the area around the village has practically been overturned in search of clues. But no one has been able to make...
So, this person we're looking for, what's his name? Where did he...
I don't know. I really...
Okay. Guess you are really sick of answering questions.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sound short with you. I know it may seem like we don't have anything to offer by way of information, but I promise you, we all have a very strong impression of it. When you live in the same village as someone, you develop a... We just don't know the specifics. Maybe we did at least that's what everyone in the village seems to think. We've all exchanged what we know.
All right. Specifics aside, then.
Young guy. In his early 20s, probably. Incredibly kind. I chat with him when I didn't have any customers. I even saw him stick out his neck for others on more than one occasion.
Now that you've started talking about him, you don't seem nearly as down in the dumps as you did before.
But of course, everyone in the village is pretty fond of him. We wouldn't have issued that. There aren't many young people like him nowadays. So genuine and pure. To think that he just up and disappeared one day.
Could he have just moved away without telling me?
No, he's not the type to leave without saying goodbye. And anyway, moving away without being seen by a single person in the village, there's no way he...
All right, thanks for the information. We're gonna go ask around. If this commission is really as challenging as Catherine made it out to be, we're gonna need to carry out a very detailed investigation.
Sicuramente lui ne saprà un po' di più.
It's that guests I hear.
Hi, Grandpa Amadea. We're here to help you look for the guy that's got...
Ah, so that's what brings you to these parts. Coming all this way for our sake. That's so very kind.
Could you tell us a bit about him?
Of course. I'm happy to, with my failing eyesight. I'm afraid I can't offer much about his appearance. But I do remember hearing the sound of his... I don't think his parents are still living in the village. But somehow he never seemed lonely. He would often take time to visit the elderly, and whenever someone had something on their mind, he was there to listen with As the village chief, I owe him many thanks, helping villagers navigate difficult moments in their lives.
Wow, he seems like such a nice and gentle person. No wonder his disappearance affected you all so, but, you wouldn't happen to know any details about his neck?
I'm ashamed to admit it, but...
It's okay. There's no need to force yourself to try to... Well, Traveler, what do you think?
Hai qualche idea?
I don't think so too. Like, the name thing. And nobody has been able to tell us anything about his family or where he lived. It's like this got away. So you're saying it's not that he's... Okay, Paimon's gonna need some time to process that one. Someone who...
Che sia un fenomeno simile a quello di Sacerdezza Maggiore, Lucca e Vado.
You two are the adventurers who just arrived, right? You're here?
Yep, sure are. We were just looking...
I'm so glad to hear that. Thank goodness you haven't given up. I've been so worried my name is Atosa, by the way. I grew up here in Vimara Village. Anyway, I just wanted to say...
Yeah, no need to worry. We'll give it our best shot. So, were you close to the missing villager? Are there...
I'm not sure this counts as a lead, but follow me.
Time to go.
Is this the place?
Yep. I know it doesn't look like much. We used to always sit together under this tree and talk. Sometimes we would look up at the clouds in the sky, or stop to... I was actually adopted by the people of Vimara Village. The forest, I was surrounded by such good people, and growing up in the village was so lively. How should I put it? When something's bothering you, or when you have good news to everyone has their own problems to deal with. Even if I might... Really? Wow, that sounds really nice. You're quite lucky. When it comes to our missing villager, no matter what came my way, I knew I could always talk. He was so thoughtful and pure. And patient, too. Ever since he disappeared, there's been... No, none of those things.
Wow. Did he ever tell you anything about him?
He mostly just talked about interesting things. Oh, right! I did ask him about his parents once. But I didn't know whether that meant they had left the village or passed away.
Still not...
Look at me. Talking your ear off and still nothing to... The last time I talked this much in one go was when we... Come to think of it. Every time we talked, time always passed by really slowly. Even when it felt like we'd been talking for hours.
Well, time always seems to pass slower when you're relaxed, right? What's wrong, Traveler?
Sulla base di ciò che sappiamo non si tratta di una semplice scomparsa. Quello che Atossa ci ha appena detto riguardo al tempo potrebbe essere la chiave per risolvere il mistero.
Hey, look at those hilichurls over there. Doesn't it seem like they're at...
Allora, nella vita ci sono loro dietro tutto questo.
Uh-oh, we've been spotted! Quick, get ready to fight!
Andiamoci a combattere.
Nice and spicy!
Illusion shattered! Wind strike! There is no escape!
Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting monsters.
It was no trouble.
Now that I think about it, the hilichurls around Vermont seem agitated and would often attack anything in sight. Chief Amadea doesn't allow the children to play in the area around the village anymore.
Maybe the Abyss Order... Well, we should head back and check out the situation in Vimara Village, just in case. If the Abyss Order is plotting something that... Wait a second. The person... It's Dave!
Ah, it's you two.
Oh, a friend of yours? Well, I'll leave you all to it then. I should head back to the village and check...
Yep, see you later,
Sì, ci vediamo a Tossa.
Why do you always have to pop up out of nowhere like that? Is it your life's mission to jump scare us or something?
It's hardly personal, or intentional for that matter. As long...
Ah, so you're here to investigate the Abyss Order then?
Naturally. Hold on. No matter. It may have taken you a while. The Abyss Order is most certainly planning something in this area. Or worse.
So you think the Abyss Order is behind the hilichurl act?
As things stand, I highly doubt that is their primary motive. I would imagine the increased hilichurl activity is merely...
Still, the hilichurl activity is causing a lot of problems for the people here. We should stick around.
The best way to protect them is by figuring out what the Abyss Order is truly planning. And you shall have them. I never intended to hide. Don't worry. There should be... Ah, so that was the commission. Someone who seems to only exist in people's memories. That is indeed quite intriguing. I would agree that it's unlikely you have a simple... It appears all we have by way of clues is increased hilichurl activity.
Right! That mysterious voice he heard in his sister's memory. The one who called himself a sin...
Traveler, let me ask you this. Do you believe your sibling... I sense hesitation in your words. There's still hope for the two of you to reconcile. Irreparable damage has not... The sinner you wish to know about, his situation is different. He and his fellows, his name is Vedrfolnir. I'm loath to admit it, but he is also my...
Your brother?
There were 5 of them. The wise, Roptatyr. The visionary, Vedrfolnir. No matter how eroded my memory may become, I will never forget their name.
Wait, some of those names sound really familiar. Grinddaughter is the one who created Albedo. Sertology is Skirk's, and the one we just learned about, Dane's brother, Vedrfolnir. If he was the voice of the sinner, then the one who inspired...
They were once people of great esteem in Khaenri'ah. Those who carried the hopes of the nation. 6 of us. Together. We should have been the ones to prevent the disaster, yet deep within, the five of them craved something more, so they became sinners, but also transcendent beings. And when the cataclysm occurred, not one of them stood up in defense of their nation. Not one came forward to prevent the tragedy. Indeed, if they are not stopped, of course. As I said...
So, Dane, what have you been looking at?
I've continued to investigate the questions surrounding the Loom of Fate. It's been quite some time since the initial operation. By retrieving the eye of the first field tiller, we were able to stop part of their plan from coming to fruition.
Oh, Paimon remembers! Weren't they going to use it to corrupt Osial and make a god?
Indeed. However, it's obvious that was just the eye was integral to their plan. Yet somehow, despite failing to obtain it, they've skipped the experimental. There are many signs pointing to...
Then what should we do?
Our most pressing concern is to determine the purpose of the Loom of Fate. From there, based on the intel I've gathered so far, I suspect the Loom of Fate is related to the ley
lines?
Traveler. You were able to observe your siblings' memories last time, yes? My recent investigation has shown that Abyss Order activity in a particular area is usually...
Wait! Then our commission here in Vimara Village. The person who seems to exist only...
It's certainly possible. I'll join your investigation tomorrow. This missing person...
Well, if we're teaming up with Dane again, we're gonna need all the energy we can get. Let's try investigating somewhere a little further. So tired.
Paimon used way too much.
Well, let's go find Dane. We've got a lot.
Dove sarà? Potrà.
Dane?
Dane, chiama Dane.
Hello, Dane? Did something happen?
The missing person from your commission...
Oh! Young guy? Early 20s?
There appear to be certain memories in my mind. Memories...
Maybe...
No. It wasn't a dream. There... And I'm certain I've never met this person before. I remember handing him the eye of the first field.
What? Okay, so this missing person definitely has something to do with the Abyss Order.
Indeed. And it appears he possesses the ability...
Wait then. All the memories the villagers have of him, could they be fake too? Maybe. But why would he do something like that?
Whatever the Abyss Order is planning, an important truth has been revealed.
What sort of truth?
That their goal is still to obtain the eye of the first. I am the only person who knows its location. Perhaps, in planting that particular your concerns are not entirely unfounded. I don't believe the Abyss Order is, however, considering their single-minded pursuit of the eye, I would see an come with me. We must check whether the eye is...
Oh, so you're going to take us to where you hid it?
Non riusciremo di rivelargli la posizione. Forse è per questo che l'ordine dell'abisso ha improntato nei ricordi della mente di Dan per costringerlo a assicurarsi la posizione dell'occhio. Conoscendoli sicuro Dan ha già pensato a questa possibilità. Immagino che abbia già...
Of course.
Ma certo. Inutilmente, però li facciamo, li faremo. Ma la vedo un po' dura.
So you hid it way out here? Not an easy place to discover that. Well, let's go check to see if it's safe.
Traveler, wait.
Aspetta.
We've no time to lose. Let's head inside.
Che cosa mi stava per dire Dan poco fa?
Hey, wait up!
Aspettatemi.
Boba, get them!
Shine down!
Allow me! Nice and spicy!
There is no escape!
It appears the mechanisms here have changed over time. You can access the upper floor through the side door. Perhaps you should try reactivating the mechanism over there.
No, abbiamo riattivato 4.
Let's move out. Let's move out.
Wind strider! Time to get...
Boba, get them! Hold the line!
Time to go.
Make sure all the runes are pointing in the direction indicated by the light. That should unlock the mechanism.
indicate dalla luce.
The door's open. Let's go. Our destination is just up ahead.
Time to go.
Looks like we can't go any further.
A quanto pare non possiamo andare oltre.
Be on your guard. I sense the presence of the Abyss.
It's the Abyss Order! They're here!
L'Abyss. Sono qui.
Shine down!
Allow me!
Wind strike!
Nice and spicy!
There is no escape! Shine down!
Hold the line! Boba, get them!
Wind strike! Inazuma shines eternal! Illusion shattered!
Eat this!
Wind strike!
Rest and rebuild!
Shine down! Wind strike! Illusion shattered!
Just as I suspected. The false memories were a trap. The Abyss Order just wanted to follow us here. Now that they're in the vicinity, we should have a chance to see.
Dane? What's wrong?
Can you feel that? There's been a disturbance.
Wow, you must be really sensitive to that sort of thing.
You too. Do as I say. Use that mechanism over there and leave this place. The Abyss Order is putting something in motion. If you return to Vimara Village, I suspect you might finally have the opportunity to look. Just think of it as a way to divide and conquer.
Beh, ha ragione. Ma c'è ancora qualcosa che non quadra. Ma cosa?
I knew going along with your trap would be the only way to meet with you face to face.
You risked your safety and that of the Eye? That's quite the gamble, Dainsleif. But I believe that I am the one walking into a trap laid by the Twilight Sword.
So you came here all on your own? What about those followers of yours?
When the Twilight Sword is prepared for battle, any army I could send would only be marching to their doom. Better that I face you alone. I know you must have a lot to say, but if it's a conversation you want, you'll have to defeat me first.
No, voglio vedere come continua.
The Abyss Order's on the move. The ley lines are all out of whack. We better hurry back to Vimara Village and see what's going on. Hey, look at those village girls over there. Weren't they acting super agitated just a little while ago?
In the New World, they bade farewell to at last. They no longer needed to dwell on their suffering, or try to differentiate, but such was the price they paid, and thus their soul...
Did you hear that? It sounded so gentle. Could that... Oh, this is weird. Let's check if this is happening. Looks like the same thing is happening over here too. The village girls are...
You see, we've reclaimed an endless amount of time to release your tears. You're no longer...
Over there. It looks like they're sleeping.
In the end, you would sleep well, Father. When you awake, that would...
It almost sounds like a poem or some kind of story. Well, now that the village girls have calmed down, Vimara Village should be safe, and let's put this situation to the side for now. Dane said this might be our chance to find the missing villager, so we should head back to Vimara Village before it's too late. Let's move out. Let's move out. Grandpa Medea, is everyone all right? The Abyss Order seems to be up to something nearby.
The Abyss Order? Thank you for your concern, but as far as I'm aware...
Well, that's good to hear. Oh, also, you didn't happen to come across any clues about the missing villager while we were gone, did you?
Someone?
Huh? You know, the young guy from Vimara Village. The one you've been looking for all this time. You posted a command. That's kind of the whole reason we're here, actually. You're missing...
I do apologize, you two. At least right now, I can't seem to recall whatever it is.
How is that? Something's definitely not right. We just talked to Grandpa Amadea about the missing villager. What do you think, Traveler? Could everyone's memories of the missing villager have been erased again? You're right. We should narrow down the possibilities for...
Someone's gone missing?
Just as expected. That guy guy you said a bunch of nice things about earlier? The one, he's around 20 years old, and you said he was a...
Oh, I know who you're talking.
Really? You remember...
There aren't many young people who've earned that kind of praise from me. If you're certain that's what I said, then there's only one person who fits the bill. No doubt about it. But, yeah, I just saw him leave the village. There was someone else with him, too. They couldn't have...
Ma qui siamo nel passato.
Strange. Bayram seems to remember him, and apparently he just saw him? Do you think maybe it's not that there's something wrong with people's memories, but that we've somehow returned...
Quando è scomparso, dubito che tornare nel passato sia così semplice. Considerando quello che ci ha dato Dino riguardo alla perturbazione delle linee geometriche, direi che molto... Devo riflettere, cosa succede davvero?
Just like what happened with Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, no one remembers him, because there's been a... If we really did travel back to a time before he disappeared, that could explain why the village... If this person only exists in people's memories, maybe we're in...
Right! Paimon totally forgot about the ley line disturbances. We're in someone else's memory, just like how you entered your sibling's memory last time. That would also explain why we seem to be at a time before he went missing. Right. If he's someone who only exists in people's memories, then we're... But didn't Bayram just say that he saw him leave the village with someone? Where should we go look? Who knows how long this ley line disturbance is gonna last? We might not have that much time, and we don't even know whose memory this is.
Questo ricordo. Riesaminiamo ciò che abbiamo scoperto
finora. Good idea! That'll help us narrow things. We pretty much figured out that the missing villager has the ability to...
impiantare ricordi nella mente altrui. Esatto, proprio così. Forse possiamo
scoprire qualcosa di più su di lui, usando
le informazioni che abbiamo
does it maybe leave a trace that would somehow give him away?
Che aiuterebbero a rivelarlo. Impiantare ricordi nelle menti altrui deve essere un processo che lascia delle imperfezioni. È impossibile che i nuovi ricordi si mescolino perfettamente a questi passati. Deve esserci un modo per distinguerli. Ciao Tiffany, il libro di Alice dici? Sì, è mio. Ho anche quello di Biancaneve e un altro che adesso non mi ricordo. Ma erano libri che li trovavi in libreria, anche nei supermercati quando ero più piccolo io. Tipo quel libro lì ce l'avevamo parecchio tempo, l'avrò preso a 16 anni, 14 anni, non lo so, a quell'età lì. In un supermercato me l'aveva regalato mia zia, che adesso non c'è più mia zia, però un libro vecchio. Erano vari volumi. C'erano tutte le varie storie Disney. Vabbè, questo qua che ho io è il secondo di Alice, c'era anche il primo con la storia Alice. Questo qua è tipo il ritorno dietro allo specchio. È bello, è bello. Sono tutte favole della Disney, ma con tutti i personaggi, carino. Non costavano neanche tanto. Beh, in lire, parlo delle lire, ovviamente.
There's a difference between memories that arise from lived experiences and those that are implanted into the mind.
Ai tempi, per i film. Andavano di brutto. Ma poi ne ho tutti altri. Ho anche le favole di Grimm, cioè un bel po'.
Maybe not.
No wonder!
È bellissimo, sì, lo sai, Alice è uno dei miei preferiti. Infatti per quello che l'ho preso all'epoca. Ti ricordo che avevo pure esistito quando ero piccolo praticamente, perché lo volevo. Ma i capricci non li ho mai fatti. Però non avevo insistito per prenderla. È molto bello. Poi ci sono tutte le storie dei personaggi. Poi in aggiunta ci sono anche delle storie a parte. C'è la storia del mago Merlino.
The implanted memories are basically taking place. If the memories included the regular passage, like there could be overlap or something. People might start to wonder why they remember doing two different things at the same time of day.
La bambolina invece era di una collezione che davano in edicola, delle principesse Disney, le streghe, tutte insieme, e sono di porcellana. C'ho anche quella di Malefica, di Grimilde, della Bella e la Bestia, così. E poi invece i tarocchi sono quelli di Alice. Ci sono, se guardi bene, c'è il cappellaio, quelli sono un po' più moderni, sono più recenti. Per esempio potrebbe esserci una sopravvizione o qualcosa del genere. Le persone potrebbero cominciare a chiedersi perché hanno due ricordi diversi per lo stesso momento.
That's why he makes sure the memories take place at a specific moment in time
non lo so, perché sono libri vecchi, non li ho più visti in giro. Aspetta, vado a prendertelo, ti dico chi è l'autore, chi l'ha pubblicato. Allora, vabbè, Walt Disney, Le nuove meraviglie di Alice si chiama. Arnaldo della Mondadori. Oddio, quanto costava? Non lo vedo più. C'è sopra, c'è una macchia nera proprio lì sul prezzo in lire comunque. Poi qua ci sono vari volumi, c'è tipo Pinocchio, Bianchebernie, Peter Pan, Robin Hood, Spada nella roccia, Cenerentola, Taron, Gli amici di Paperino, non so, Winnie Pooh, Basil, Bambi, Aristogatti, Biancaneve, Peter Pan, L'era dei topi, La carica di 101, Alice versione normale, La bella e l'addormentata, Lì il vagabondo, Il libro della giungla. Devo vedere di che anno è. 80, terza ristampa 1988, seconda 84, sì, degli anni 80, 88, 84. Infatti è un po' rovinato perché il tempo è passato. Si chiama Le nuove meraviglie di Alice. Copertina c'è Alice e le proto-bisestile che prendono il tè col ghiro sotto, e dietro c'è il cappellaio matto. Ma sono molto carini, sono quante pagine? Sono poche, non sono tantissime. 141 pagine. È diviso, diciamo, in varie introduzioni con i vari capitoli, tutto fatto a storielle. E poi praticamente ogni pagina ha quei disegni lì, quindi non ci sono pagine bianche con solo scritte, ogni pagina ha un disegno, anche 2 o 3. Carino. Segniamo a questo punto ciò che sappiamo già d'ora. La domanda riguardo a chi appartiene a questo ricordo sembrerebbe paura, la risposta è piuttosto ovvia. Non lo so, però magari su YouTube, magari su Amazon, eBay, non so, si trovano. Non lo so, libreria, perché sono cose talmente vecchie. Magari sì, se vai in una di quelle librerie un po' storiche.
We thought Chief Amadea forgot about the missing
una
villager.
collezione.
But it turns out we're at a moment in time before the village issued the commit. No, that doesn't seem right. I need to think about this. No, that doesn't.
Questo, allora questo.
Oh, right! That's exactly what it was in description.
Come to think of it, every time we talked, it always seemed to be time always passed by really slowly. Even when it felt like we'd been...
Yep, that has to be it. This is definitely a Tosa's memory. Yeah, that's where they'll be.
Mi sembra che ho quello sì, Biancaneve ce l'ho, perché la Biancaneve ha la copertina azzurra con lei 7 nani davanti. Lo sfondo azzurro, ma l'altro non me lo ricordo qual è. Ah, la sirenetta c'ho. La sirenetta c'ho. Che l'avevo preso quando c'era la sirenetta. Ma io poi quando ero più piccolo facevo anche la collezione degli album, quindi dovrei avere anche tantissimi album, dovrei avere quello della Bella Bestia degli anni 80. Solo che non so dove li ho messi, erano tutti giù in cantina. Doverli album di una volta. Le figurine, qualche figurina ce l'ho ancora in giro.
So, you see, Granny Jahiet was a mercenary when she was younger. She just talks like that out of habit. She's not trying... Oh, there I go again. Always talking about my own things. Do you maybe have anything you want to share? It's okay if you don't.
I think you're an incredibly... You'll meet many amazing people and live a very happy life.
Non si tira in mancanza di uno come me. Però non ho i tarocchi di Biancaneve.
Huh?
Quelli là
sono
amici
your
tuoi.
Friends over there?
Quelli là sono amici tuoi. Ah, ok, lui quello che cercavamo. Finalmente l'abbiamo trovato, non so perché, ma mi pare di averlo già visto.
Oh, right.
Ah, giusto, questa tosta non c'è ancora conosciuto.
Friends?
Beh,
I guess you could say that. I must have taken them a lot, so I should see what they need. I'm sorry, Atosa.
Another time, huh?
Un'altra volta, certo, non preoccuparti. Bene, allora ritorno al villaggio, alla prossima. Sì, in effetti siamo nel passato, quindi una serata di passato, e quindi ovviamente lei non si ricorda di noi.
It's nice to see you, traveler.
Che bello vedervi, Clown.
I believe this is the first time we've met.
Tu sei? ricordi l'ordine dell'abisso, il telaio del fatto e tutto il resto. Devo pensare a una persona che collega tutti questi elementi.
The founder of the Abyss Order. The man who broke the curse of immortality. Born into abject sorrow. Dane's brother, one of the 5 sinners of Conria.
Lui che ha rubato il potere dell'abisso. Questo dovrebbe essere.
No, that doesn't seem right. You're Kari Bear Alberic.
Oh.
Ah, mi
You know me?
Non credo di averti mai visto prima.
I see.
Per via del ricordo giusto,
That was the memory, was
di allora.
This is Atosa's memory. I suppose I'll just leave her a message instead. Come.
Posto dove parlare. Questo non lo posso tradurre. C'è scritto. No. Sì, la volta poi anche incontriamo la nostra sorellina. Aspetta, no, non posso prendere adesso.
I suppose you could call it the realm of my consciousness. I'm someone who no longer exists in the it's nothing. I still have enough strength to play the part of a good host. I've always hoped that I'd get the chance to talk to you like this.
Questa è un'opportunità rara anche per me. Dovrei cercare di ottenere più informazioni possibili da
Extreme sorrow and pain, hope and regret coursing through your veins, and a degree of a father told me that once I possessed all those elements, I would be good. Despite his intentions for me, I never truly became in truth. I died the moment I said everything. The person you see before you now is nothing but a remnant of consciousness. As for your question, the Loom of Fate is a device capable of weaving light in its primitive form. It can only be used to create and implant memories. But as more of it is completed, its power becomes stronger, and once fully completed, the moment it gains the power to weave ley lines, it loses the look, but it also becomes a tool that can change the entire world. Yes. I have the ability to control the loom in its semi-completed form. After all, its existence.
Quindi i ricordi più apparsi improvvisamente di Dane sono stati impiantati da Kariber attraverso il telaio del fatto quando era quasi completo. Senza, ma non riesco ancora a capire perché abbia fatto finta di presentarsi a tutti i residenti del villaggio.
That.
Ho sbagliato a impiantare i miei ricordi. Mi
I was wrong to implant those memories.
Non solo la gente del villaggio,
I just wanted them to feel like I once existed, as if...
che anch'io ho avuto l'opportunità di vivere. Dunque così non me lo sarei mai aspettato, ma c'è qualche significato in tutto questo? Esiste solo nei ricordi della gente che vuole vivere?
Why would I do something so meaningless? But I just... I had to know what it would be like if I had my own life. What kind of person? Chief Ahmadiyya, Aram, Granny Jahiyat, Atosa. What would it be like if I could live alongside them? No cataclysm, no curse. I was curious, so I selfishly, even if that meant piecing together the version of myself that could have been. I know it sounds stupid, after all. Any chance at living was stripped away from me when I was 8 years old. My consciousness, left to mature, even the form you see before you was nothing but an invention based on my father's appearance.
Alla fine tutto la conseguenza della tragedia avvenuta che è in Ria.
I know. There's nothing I can... If I could exist in the real world, I would return without a second thought and surprise them with the sudden...
Anche se sei apparso solo nei loro ricordi. Tutti credono che abbia visto tutto di
know.
Lo so. Bene, ora che ti ho trovato, continueremo questa conversazione un'altra
Captain
volta.
Dainsleif.
Il capitano Dainsleif.
Twilight Sword, you mean?
Non c'è bisogno di incontrarlo. Le cose
No need to meet up exactly. As someone who could only exist in people's memories, the fact that I'm able to talk to you in my consciousness, the loom of fate has already been completed.
Cosa? Il teoria del fatto è già stato completato, cosa significa che l'occhio del primo zappaterra è caduto nelle mani dell'Abisso. Che succede
No need to worry about Captain Dainsleif. He's absolutely fine. The only reason he lost the eye was because I happened to get... Captain Dainsleif has had the eye inside his body this whole time, hasn't he? His plan was to lure the Abyss Order to a false location, capitalizing on their pursuit of the eye. He would then hand the eye to you and tell you to take it away from that location. That way, Captain Dainsleif could accomplish his own goal and ensure the safety of the eye all at once. A very thorough... That's right. Because in his mind... Before you two entered that false location...
Traveler. We've no time to lose. Let's head inside.
That was when I implanted the memory of him handing you the eye. Given the tense situation at that time, Captain Dainsleif failed to notice anything out of the ordinary. I'm sorry, Traveler, but I needed the Loom of Fate to be completed.
Dan ha tenuto l'occhio con sé tutto il tempo finché l'ordine l'ha visto non gliel'ha portato via. Non credo ci fosse modo per
I promise I'm not trying to conceal anything from you, but I truly... Tevat's ley line system is deeply entrenched in the planet. Creating new ley lines can neither replace nor extend the ones that are in the face of everything they could be planning. I fear I'm too insignificant to even get a glimpse of the... In any case, I had my own use for the Loom of Fate, and my goal... You remember my father, don't you? Clothar Alberic. After he used the power of the Abyss to restore consciousness to my hilichurl form, I sought to comfort me. My father told me a story. That this was a fairy tale world, where I had to take on that story managed to dispel my fears. My goal was simple, to use the Loom of Fate in its near-completed form. When it's up to implant a specific memory into the mind. In that memory, I would tell them a story, just like my father did for me.
Interessante. Quindi ciò che ha fatto calmare l'incuria era la storia di Caribert, era quasi il suo obiettivo, l'unica cosa che voleva. Era in possesso di un dispositivo potente come il del fatto, tutto ciò che voleva era offrire da lì un momento di
I can't change the world.
Non posso cambiare il mondo, non posso.
Not when I lost the very right to exist within it.
Piantare quei ricordi è stata la cosa più utile che potessi.
Implanting all that's left of my existence is a wisp of residual consciousness tied to the Loom of Fate. In truth, that trace of my consciousness should have... But now, the bedtime story?
Looks like I was too late to see Caribert one last time.
Eccola. Finalmente ci rincontriamo.
Caribere's consciousness is gone, and this space will soon disappear along with it. Neither of us belongs here. That's why we're not tangible. Were that not the case, I'd love to hug you too. Well, how about a conversation?
Almeno possiamo passare un po' di tempo insieme.
The chance to just stop and talk like this is certainly not easy to come by. That battle earlier was the one against Dane, and I didn't expect that after everything, he would still hesitate to raise his sword against me. Were it not for that, perhaps I'd still be no match for the Twilight Sword. Even the Loom of Fate. Before the heavenly principles awaken. Yes, for 500 years now, ever since the cataclysm in Conria. There's been not long ago, you witnessed the Hydro Archon destroy her divine throne. Such a flagrant disregard for the rules, and still Celestia took no action. I suppose that's proof enough of the heavenly principle. However, the heavenly principles will awaken. You could say that. Just look at Caribere. He was so pure and single-minded. The space we now find ourselves is a perfect representation. Even as a hilly churl, seeing the terrible sight within the mirror, what he brought comfort to the people of this world. Even though he was so, ask yourself this. Of course, that's only one example. My feelings about the heavenly principles. Ether?
You're the only one in this world who calls me that. There's so much I wanted to ask you, but for some reason, there's just one thing I have to ask. One thing. Why? Why can't we continue our journey together?
At the end of my journey, I arrived at a place known as the Sea of Flowers at the end. Do you remember? A long time you told me you wanted to find a place in the universe where to have a place like that suddenly appear before me. Well, would you think of...
You mean...
I miss you too, Ether. But as this war continues to rage, and as I don't even know how to face myself sometimes.
What's going on?
This space has lost its tether. I doubt it'll be able to exist much longer. In fact, aside from our inability to physically interact with each other, there's something else you should know about this space. Everything in this space will be wiped from existence, including all memory of our reunion.
You're only telling me this now?
No. Che triste. Peccato.
Still so asleep. Oh, Paimon woke up a little earlier than you, so Paimon will fill you in. The villagers said that they saw us sleeping near the village. Oh, and Dane came by just now? He didn't say anything, though. Just made sure that you were alright and left. Kinda seemed like he had a lot on his mind, but that... Let's think for a second. We were in that memo. He was the missing villager that we've been trying to find, right? And after that, Paimon doesn't remember. Wait, really?
Per Capopazzo è fantastico. Direi che abbiamo completato il nostro incarico. L'uomo scomparso, colui che esisteva solo nella memoria della persona, è sempre stato Caribel, ma ora che non c'è più non saprei come spiegarlo al centro degli abitanti del villaggio.
What happened after that?
Dopo. Magari magari era solo la stanchezza, la sensazione che sia successo qualcos'altro, una cosa. Non so bene il perché, ma ho quasi l'impressione di aver perso qualcosa.
Ah, there you are.
Hey, Ron, you sure seem happy. Did something good happen?
Something good?
Huh.
Wasn't it? It's just that, well, the village organized another search party yesterday. It didn't, so there we were, searching away, when suddenly this one guy said it all according to him. One day around dusk, he was passing by this one tree outside the village, and he saw our missing villager. There he was, sleeping under that tree all by himself. His parents came a little later to wake him up, and they all left together. They looked like quite a happy family, apparently. And after that, well, we all started to feel like that really is what happened. Kind of strange that we forgot all about it for so long. Oh, and we also remembered his name, Caribert. Now, that's not a name you hear every day. Would have been helpful if we remembered it sooner. Well, I hope he's happy wherever he is, and we're all relieved now that we know what...
Seems like everyone thinks Caribert left the village. That's probably for the best. At least they have some sort of explanation. Paimon wonders how Atosa's doing. Maybe we should go check on her. If she hasn't remembered like everyone else, Paimon didn't see her in the village just now, so she's probably at the tree. Come on, let's go talk. Let's move out.
Oh, it's you two. I was part of the search party, so honestly, I just can't believe I forgot something so... It always seemed to appear out of nowhere, and now, if Caribert wants me to forget about the time we spent together, then I'm willing to... I relied on him for a lot of things, but I'm sure with enough time, even the deepest of attachments can... Okay, I'll admit. I was dumped, wasn't I? Otherwise, why would he just leave like that without saying goodbye? You don't need to comfort me. It's just like Caribert said. It's the things we overcome that make life, and you know, if he has a heart. Anyway, thanks for all your hard work, you two. I promised I'd help Granny Tahiyat with something, so I should...
Well, that should be it, right? Oh, right! Weren't you about to tell Paimon what happened after your
con Caribert? È vero, cosa è successo non mi ricordo. Qualcosa in tasca.
A picture?
Una foto?
Where'd that come from?
Fa un po' vedere. Per fratelli bisogna andare d'accordo. Cavoli della buonanotte, finito. Continuo, perché poi ci sarà il continuo sicuramente. Allora, vediamo gli obiettivi. C'è anche qualcos'altro. Ok. Facciamo anche questa, che ore sono?
Do you also see Navia and Clorinde over there? They look like they might have run into some kind of trouble. Let's go check out what's going on!
Not at all. And I've asked... Lynette's ears drooped as soon as she heard that we'd have to be out and about for days on end. And Freminet, he hid himself under his helmet as soon as he realized...
What about Chiori and Charlotte?
I've asked them already, but they're both pretty busy right now. I just gave the members of...
This...
Navia, Clorian, what's up?
Oh my. Well, if it isn't mine...
Huh? Yep, this is our chance.
Do you need our help with something?
Oh, precisely. My dear partner.
Whoa, for real?
Absolutely. We've already...
Traveler, would you join us and play Marechaussee Hunter Judgment Day?
Marechaussee what now?
It's a new game script by the Tabletop Troupe, a local roleplay adventure club.
Ever heard of the Tabletop Troupe? They put out games that allow you to participate in a story and roleplay characters.
That sounds super interesting.
Florand and I are both veteran members of the club. Recently, someone came up with a new script and was looking for people to... And when they asked, of course I couldn't refuse. I mean, come on.
Generally speaking, scripts at that level of development have a lot of issues. But I think this one...
Whoa. I know I was the one that handed you the script, but some of us haven't read it yet.
Anyway, the script calls for a team of 4. Ah, yes.
So, you're saying you'll help us out?
I'm the Traveler, kind of a package.
That's not a problem. I'll adjust the pace based on the actual number of players, and ensure that everyone has a good time.
Well, Traveler, what do you think? Wanna play? I'm out of...
Well, that solves our problem.
I'll go grab the script manager.
The script manager? Didn't you just say that you gave Clorian the script?
The club introduced a completely new kind of gameplay for the script. In this iteration, the Game Master's version of the script is incomplete. The script manager provides the next part of the script only after players have completed the current On top of that, in order to increase player immersion, the club has created some of the story's sets and scenes in real life. We'll only know where we should go once the...
Wow, you're right! Whoever wrote this script really...
And it's got a real healthy amount of suspense, right? I mean, even the GM doesn't know how the story will end.
I look forward to experience.
Why don't you go meet up with the others first? They should all be waiting at Chiori Boutique. I'll come over with the script manager as soon as...
Sounds good. Remember to always watch...
You say that like I'm 6 years old or something. Let me think. What kind of...
I just hope you'll pick up some useful skills this time. Oh, and stop trying to...
Let's move out.
You're back!
And you've got the... What a pleasant surprise. I assume you'll be...
Lenny, Farina! Paimon didn't know you were playing too. Are you also members of...
I'm more of a casual member, if anything. I haven't taken part in many formal club activities. Lynette Fremine and I play something. Still, I'm sure it'll be fun being a player for the first time. I'm looking forward to...
Well, I'm not a member of the club at all. Clorian simply woke me up first thing this morning, said there was a good script.
If you're interested, I can give you a referral. That should give you a 40% discount.
I think I'll wait to see how this experience plays out first, especially when it comes to the quality of the script.
Do you participate in a lot of tabletop troupe activities?
You could say that. She's actually one of the few senior game masters.
Right. I knew about that even when...
It's...
Wow. I'm so used to...
Surely you jest. I maintain a clear boundary between... But in my personal life, I'm just an...
Well, you say that, but for all the time I've known you,
I was...
Is that so?
So you...
No.
Da questa parte direi che piange, schippabilissimo.
I'm back. Here, allow me to introduce you to the script.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Hello? Wait, are you two?
Oh, no. This is just the costume provided by the club. I occasionally...
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's nothing. It's the least we can do to give the players a more immersive experience. Anyway, allow me to give you a brief introduction of the script. This script was adapted from the real history of the Marechaussee Hunters. You all will play the role of hunters from a bygone era and resolve a series of events unfolding in the capital.
Genere passata, risolvendo una serie di eventi che si sono svolti nella capitale.
I'm not super familiar with the history of the Mara.
Oh, no problem at all. I can give you a brief rundown. So, basically, Marashose hunters were people who dedicated themselves to hunting monsters and protecting the city by using a special sort. Their story can be traced back to the ancient Remurian dynasty, as well as the first hunter, Cassiodor. But I'll leave the finer details for you.
And I'll provide additional commentary as the
case. Brave hunters.
Oh, just one sentence and it's like...
Aha, I see many a determined gaze before me. Very well.
So, as we follow the story, it leads us to specifics.
It's the exact location of the scene, as well as the formal permission. Please check all your belongings, everyone. And make sure you haven't forgotten anything. Once you're ready, please follow me to the designated location.
Sounds good.
Bello, andiamo. Anche questo. Allora, dove dobbiamo andare qua?
Allow me.
Time to go.
They really have thought of everything. Even the Fatometer is here. The Fatometer?
It's a card that's used to determine action success or failure. We'll need to use it when we try to...
And what about all the dessert?
That's what the message said.
Really? That's so...
Those snacks have Paimon's name.
I think you might be more of a snack hunter than a Marash.
Snack hunter Paimon reported for duty. If there are delicious snacks to be found,
the desserts are great.
First, please pick up the blank character cards in front of you and write down your name and profession. You can find an abbreviated version of the rules printed on the back of your character card. If you have any questions, feel free. In this story, everyone is a Marashose hunter. To reflect this, the club has prepared...
Ooh, nice!
As hunters, you have proficiency in swordsmanship and fighting by default, so there's no need to allocate any additional skill points to those areas.
Swordsmanship? So there's a fighting part to all this?
Why don't you share a character card then? The Traveler will be the Marashose hunter, and you can be his little...
Kind of. So, for the name, do I fill it out with the name of...
Yep. It can be any...
You can use your real name too if you want. I do that whenever I get too lazy to think of a new name. Oh, so it would be like experiencing...
In that case, I think...
Next up is the skill sheet. You have a limited amount of skill points that you can use to learn a number of skills. The more points you invest in a particular skill, the...
I'll take persuasion and investigation.
Oh, those skills sound like they'd be useful for gathering intelligence. Good idea, Navia. Just as expected.
So, should we...
Not necessarily. Since we're working together as a team, we could leave the negotiations to Navia. For example, I think I'll take stealth and sleight of hand. That will give us more options if we run into any situations we can...
Oh, interesting. I wasn't thinking about it like that. I suppose it's not... Let me see. I'll take arts and performance. I'm not quite sure what use will be.
Well, that leaves us. What do you want to learn, Traveler?
Voglio arte culinaria, medicina, voglio cognizione. Cognizione mi ispira.
Oh, something that'll help you get a read on other people's thoughts. Sounds useful.
Medicina.
Ooh, so you want to help people when they're injured. So what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these two skills?
Una risposta definitiva? Queste culinarie facciamo.
Let's see.
Vediamo, a quanto pare avete abbastanza punti per scegliere un'altra abilità.
You've all picked such classic skills. It's fine to go a little bit out of the box.
Why do I get the feeling she's getting ready to cause trouble?
For example, this one here.
Oh, I saw that one just now as well. The description says, this skill can be used under certain...
The script's world-building rules.
Oh, that's not for us to worry about, my friend. Just learn the skills...
All right, you've convinced Paimon. Let's learn 7 then. Paimon can't wait.
Well, now that everyone's more or less finished creating their characters, since 2 of our players are doing this for the first, would you like to play on easy mode?
What's the difference?
Well, in role-playing games, the story sometimes changes based on the decisions of the player. For example, if you fail a check, that means you cannot use the target skill in that scenario. A critical failure may even result in further if you choose to play in authentic mode. Every time you elect to use a skill, you'll need to use the Fatometer to see whether you succeed or fail, and face any consequences that may. If you choose easy mode instead, every check will be successful by default, and you won't have to worry about luck playing a factor.
Given that I'd like to focus on the story, I suppose I should pick easy, huh?
Oh, come on. Don't worry about that. RNG is the life of never knowing what you might have to overcome.
I'd rather be mental.
All right. Then I'll mark down Verena for easy mode. All her checks will be successful by default.
As you... What about you, dear partner? How would you like to play?
Are you sure?
No need to worry about the pesky Fatometer. Pretty good choice if you just want to relax.
Honestly, I don't think Clorinde would make things too difficult for us, no matter what the Fatometer says.
No promises.
Well, anyway, enough talk. Let's get...
Speaking of the story, why is the beginning scene...
Well, that's because, a long time ago, back when human civilization was still in its infancy, powerful demons and evil sorcerers ruled. Soon, a group of human rebels banded together. With their swords raised, they swore to brave the darkness, and in doing so, sometime later, as a member of the Marechaussee Hunters, you receive a commission. Following the address provided as you inhale, you can taste the slightly salty air of the docks as you begin to survey your surroundings. There aren't many people in the vicinity. Your eyes meet, and you realize these people are fellow...
You're all Marechaussee Hunters too, right? Allow me to introduce myself. The name's Navia. Monster Hunt, what say you to traveling together? We can help each other out.
Okay. Count me in. My name is Lynn. I've been wandering since I was little and picked up a few less than legal tricks along the way. I was adopted by a Marechaussee.
Is this where you introduce your character to everyone? My name is Verena, and, I grew up in a noble family. I always had a... Hey! Oh, you can do it, Verena. Paimon is Paimon, a good friend and companion to this Marechaussee Hunter right here.
I've been studying medicine ever since I was a child. I want to do my part to eradicate these monsters and...
Oh, welcome, welcome. When we face the monsters, I'll make sure to charge in front to give everyone some cover.
You open your envelopes at the same time. To the honorable and trustworthy Marechaussee Hunters, the lands outside the capital have been overtaken by monsters, and our people are being led astray by forces of wickedness.
The layout of this city looks super familiar.
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city as a reference when coming up with the map.
As experienced hunters, the layout of the city reminds you of places once traveled. Yet, as you regard the city in front of you, it appears to be little more than an empty shell. Its hollow gates are...
I carefully read every line of the letter and turn my attention to the signatures at the bottom.
You see a long string of unfamiliar names. It would seem that many of the residents of the city issued this commission together.
In that case, why don't we take a walk around the city?
Oh, good idea. We might be able to get some leads on the monsters and bad guys we're...
You look up and see a tavern nearby.
Why don't we go check out that tavern? If the novels I've read are anything to go by.
As you approach the tavern, you find a plainly dressed woman standing nearby. She appears to be rather troubled about something.
Greetings, friend. Lovely.
Oh, hello. I suppose you're right. The weather today is...
It seems like every character included in the script has a certain amount of useful information.
Oh, come now, don't be sad. Life is all about optimism.
Huh?
I don't think that's the kind of...
Nothing turns a frown upside down like good food. How about some macarons?
You didn't even take cooking as one of your skill proficiencies.
That's not necessary, miss. Excuse me.
So you're someone who barely smiles and doesn't like sweets. Hey! Did she just...
Me? Clorian must have broke character first. This isn't getting us anywhere.
The results of insight checks aren't disclosed to the players, so I'll be the... You recall all the lessons you've learned in your time and begin to carefully observe. You notice that when she's quiet, she has an empty look in her eyes, as if her thoughts have drifted to a place far, far... so you noticed a horde of monsters suddenly appeared near the capital recently. So all the guards were dispatched.
Do you remember when those monsters appeared?
I'm not completely sure.
Do you know where he...
It all happened so fast. When we said our goodbyes, he couldn't...
You have our thanks, friend. We'll find and defeat those monsters as soon as possible.
Don't worry. We'll find him. We don't always get to choose what happens to us. But we do get to choose the little things, like what we eat and how we respond to the things life throws our way.
You bid farewell to the woman and continue your journey further into the city. As you venture further into the city, the streets appear largely empty. An elderly woman walks past. You see her shake her head as she puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look. You get the impression that he's someone who has long gotten used to the sight before him.
Although he doesn't seem very friendly.
Pardon me, sir. I'd like to ask...
That depends.
How about...
What do you take me for? Some lowly beggar?
Surely an onion can't be that...
what do you know? War's nearly upon us. Everything costs several times.
Oh, what a nasty guy.
But he still might have information we need. Traveler, can you think of something? Sir, we came to this city to solve the very problem you seem to be referring to. If you happen to be well informed and know a thing or two about what's going on, we'd...
Well, things are basically as you said, young lady. Those monsters are camped outside the city, and they've been destroying all our trade routes. We have limited reserves within the city, so if this continues, we're all gonna be in big trouble.
Wait,
You're saying no one has put a plan in place to distribute supplies or maintain order?
We could all starve and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even break a sweat. Who knows? Maybe they've been in cahoots with the monsters all along.
That is concerning.
All right. That's all the information you need, right? Off with you now. I've still got...
You know, if you smiled a little more, you'd definitely get more business. And I bet...
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
Oh, how about the city square? Follow me.
Before you lies the city's central square. You see a man with a slightly anxious look on his face, pacing back and forth, his head hanging low. He doesn't seem to notice your approach, still immersed in his own thought.
This guy seems promising enough. Hello, sir. Is there any...
Wait, you're... Oh, dear goodness, you're...
You recognize us?
Yes. Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come.
What happened here?
Alas, we once lived comfortable, carefree lives. This city used to be free of monsters. However, monsters have once again surrounded the city. Perhaps the seal that kept them at bay has lost its power. Or perhaps an evil sorcerer has been meddling in... Are there... It's not a question of numbers. The guards simply have... Most people my age have never even seen one of the monsters, much less been trained to fight against them. What's worse, many of us don't... When I was a child, though, my grandfather would tell me stories about how the Marachose hunters drove back the monsters. So, to be perfectly honest, I was starting to think all those stories were just tall tales.
Well, you can rest easy, friend. The righteous and formidable Marsh...
The man is touched by your determination and resolve.
Still, if we are going to hunt the monsters, we need to know where to find them.
All I know is that the area outside the city is dangerous. Oh, although, if you leave the capital through the main gate and follow the road, you should run into a group...
I see.
All right. Be careful. Oh, and one last thing. The monsters outside the city are just part of the problem. They're actively working with the monsters, and have corrupted the court ministers with malicious magic. They're the reason why even one of our kindest ministers is turned into a boorish and unreasonable figure, interested in nothing but enacting laws that exploit the people.
Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I feel bad for him. Maybe we should try to cheer him up? Hey, not everything can be solved.
I appreciate your kindness, but for now, it's more important to focus. Brave hunters, I leave the future of...
If I understood correctly, there are currently two problems in the kingdom.
Exactly. We need to defeat the monsters outside the city and take down the...
Well, this seems like a good moment for a break. Take some time and...
I really didn't expect the people in the city to keep us at arm's length like that. I totally thought the hunters would be...
Well, Clarence said the script took cues from the real history of Fontaine, right? Maybe the real-life Marachose hunter...
I wouldn't say it's a perfect representation of history, but there are definitely some similarities.
Sure. As long as it doesn't spoil anything in the script. You brought up bits and pieces of the hunter's history before.
Paimon wants to know too! The hunters were super powerful, right? Were they all from a special line of supernatural beings or something? Kind of like...
No. All Marachose hunters were ordinary mortal fighters. The only thing that set them apart were the special sword techniques passed down over the centuries.
Huh? So you mean anyone could become a monster?
In theory, yes. All you would need to do is survive the rigorous training and master the swordsmanship techniques. Still, most people dropped out at the early stages, and others called it quits the minute they saw a monster in person. To become a hunter, you must be strong in both body and mind.
What kind of monsters did the hunters fight exactly? Oh, and the evil sorcerer the script mentions. Did they exist in real life too?
The land of Fontaine once played host to an ancient dynasty known as Remuria. After that dynasty fell, monsters began to appear. Intent on one of the ancient sorcerers of Remuria used his power to assemble a formidable army of golems.
Now wait a second. Don't tell me that guy was the inspiration for the evil sorcerer in the script.
Well, I wasn't planning on going into anything you might be able to find out in the game. But if you want me to talk about something else...
Wait, what the...
From my master?
Absolutely.
Let's not responding to it yet.
Is that really... Speaking, I vote Mott.
Well said, Miss
What about you, partner? It's just...
All right. After some discussion.
Let's take a look around, like that guy said.
You there, outsiders! Halt!
Who's there?
An armored man approaches you. He has a tall, muscular build, and although he's trying his best to conceal his current state, his uneven gait and the sweat dripping down... I'm the captain of the guard. I saw you sneaking around the city earlier, so I'll only ask this once. State your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you.
Wow, it's been a while since someone's...
I said talk, not whisper between yourselves.
Have you ever heard of the
Marechaussee Hunters? That fairy tale. While everyone is talking, you begin to carefully observe the captain's... Every so often, you see him glance toward a particular direction, with a pained expression on his face, as if an invisible thread is... As you follow his gaze, you vaguely recall that the location he seems fixated on is known for its difficult terrain.
Is that where the monsters are? Outside the forest in the area with the difficult terrain?
The captain is taken aback by your sudden question. Still, you're looking to fight...
Well, we're Marechaussee hunters after all.
He shakes his head and continues to regard you with skepticism. Those monsters aren't easy to deal with. But if you insist on going, I won't stop you either. I just hope all the guards will be able to come back to their families alive.
Based on what the captain said, the monster should be right up ahead. Let's go. Hopefully we're not too late.
As you approach the battlefield, you see numerous people lying by the side of the road. They appear to be dressed like guards. Their faces are filled with desperation and terror. Some are screaming and cursing in vain, as if still trying to banish the monstrosities they saw from their minds. A few of the wounded look up at you in shock and disbelief. Quick, leave this place. Turn around and don't look back, they yell. You see broken iron swords scattered. All the signs point to one thing. A truly devastating...
Be on your guard, everyone. The monsters might still be around.
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from the surrounding bushes. The monsters have emerged. They close in on you without fear. You get the impression that, in their bloodthirsty eyes, you're just another... Your battle round begins.
To dust!
Round of applause!
The next battle round begins now.
Step right up.
Attack! That's the way.
The monsters let out a terrifying roar of anger and resentment before dissipating.
Oh, thank goodness it's over.
We're lucky the Marachose Hunter class came with all those preset skill points. Otherwise, we would have been...
I never knew the Fatometer even determines the amount of damage you inflict. If you get unlucky, huh? That's part of the fun. The uncertainty.
Just as you begin to celebrate your victory, a suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
A suspicious lump? Wait, could it be?
I walk up to it, crouch down, and begin to carefully examine it. I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine for me to...
As you investigate the mound, you discover that the exposed portion appears to... With the monsters gone, the small protrusion now awaits your discovery. Poking out of the ground like...
Ooh, it's a treasure chest!
With everyone's help, you success even without opening it. You can tell from the Mora and Jules sketch.
Makes sense. We worked hard for this. Let's open it and we can share what's inside.
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it.
Yeah. Think about all the people suffering in the capital. Or all those guards who got...
Wait, is that how it works?
Well, let's put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game... But would the people really believe us? It's hard enough for us to prove or...
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we...
Well, if donating it could cause that much trouble, why don't we use it to buy some gear and fill up on good food? Then we'll be...
Looks like you're facing a difficult choice once again. Well, it's getting late.
Wow!
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all, or because this...
Here, here! Ooh, how about...
Oh!
Yeah, that won't work for me either. Lynette will...
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next part of this...
Huh?
There's a special note for the GM at the end of this section that says to proceed to an indoor set for the...
Whoa! They really pulled out all the stops for the...
Well, even if we end the game for the day, we can still stay a little longer and hear Clorian finish her story, right? I don't want...
Something tells me you...
That's just a coincidence, okay? Besides, the Paimon will end anyway. Paimon really does want to hear more.
Well... it's nothing. I appreciate the concern, but it's all in the past. My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from certain people of ill repute.
What a heavy...
Master was a fascinating individual. My first ever toy was a short sword. Although I suppose it wasn't so much a toy as something Master removed from her waist and handed to a noisy child in need of distraction.
Oh wait, so she... handed an actual sword?
Of course I did. See, that's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me. She then crouched down next to me and said, "Give me your hand. I'll teach you to bamf."
Excuse me for asking this.
Probably a rap.
3? Isn't that when most kids are...
As I said, Master was rather inexperienced in the ways of raising children. She believed trial...
I'm not so sure this is a question.
I didn't see anything wrong with her ways at the time. And anyway, children don't get to choose how they're raised. Oh, she did bring me back a pet from Liyue once. It was a Geovishap hatchling.
A Geovishap hatchling? For a pet? That seems even more dangerous.
What she said was this: make sure to get along, you two. If you really can't agree on something, just settle it with a
and how old?
5.
Well,
No,
so you're saying you actually became...
Yes, but only for a week. By the end of that week, I defeated it in combat.
That really doesn't sound like the kind of...
Later on, I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any other way to raise a child. She was a Marechaussee hunter, but I never, thanks to her, I learned how to navigate the forest by the age of 6, and could hunt even though the training she subjected me to was strict. She always made sure to take me traveling when she had the time. We met many of her friends during those days. That was also how I met Miss...
I still remember the first time we met. You... After that, though, you started coming over a lot. You loved...
I had a lot of fun during...
We tried to pretend like we never... Protector of justice. Oh, wait, you mean...
Yep.
20 years ago. Oh, although...
Huh? When did the protect...
Oh, she... Later on.
That sounds like her, all right.
Well,
It's true. I always wanted...
But...
She suddenly...
Disappeared? What happened?
I have no idea. That night, I was celebrating my birthday at Navia's house. But Master never came to pick me up. When I returned home on my own, when she still didn't appear after a few days, I went to Mr. Callus's house to ask about her whereabouts, but he only shook his head.
Papa probably didn't know either. I know he sent a few people to investigate the matter in secret.
Don't worry, I understand. To be perfectly honest, given Master's personality and way of doing things, just like how, when a litter of kittens reaches a certain age, I was at first.
Well, despite everything, you still managed...
I wonder... Oh no. Judging by the atmosphere, Clorinde and Navia... Well, anyway... Would you look at the time?
I had a great time today, Miss...
Anytime.
The script was good, but I've got to say, your childhood stories were even... Hey! What does she mean, on to something? Guess I'll head back as well.
You're that
I was talking... just...
It was nothing
And...
Yeah.
Oh...
Let's go meet up with the group! Paimon's really looking forward to today's story.
Devo andare in luogo chiuso.
Looks like everyone's here. Now, before we begin, why don't we finish where we left off yesterday? There was an important...
Is that really the most important? Have you walls, cold railings, dim lights?
I admire the work put into the set. Still, it's obvious the...
So the set is going to be a part of the...
Unfortunately, that is something...
Anyone think Clorinde's smile is starting to look kinda... scary?
Well, whatever happened, if we're worried about...
Yeah, it might...
Staring at me won't get...
Oh, why didn't you say...
Oh, well, I made sure... Anyway, wait... We haven't been thrown into prison. Well, it's only a matter of time. It pays to be prepared. Just like how you...
All right, Paimon's made up her... Paimon may have wanted to keep it, but if it's going to land us in...
So, you reached an agreement? All right.
Oh, and we'll collect all the scattered pieces of...
All right. You collect the treasure and make your way back to the capital with your bag of loot in hand. The city is still shrouded in a gloomy, oppressive atmosphere. In places where sunlight struggles to reach, you generously share your wealth with the children, the elderly, and thank you, kind soul. The elderly woman's look of gratitude follows you as you walk away, her eyes never leaving your back.
She's probably trying to...
Should we go find that man again at the square? He seemed like a pretty responsible guy.
Oh, good.
Just as you start to make way to the square, intent on... Please wait, distinguished guests. Several strange guards suddenly call out to you. They run forward to meet you.
Greetings, gentlemen. Are we being in...
Surely you jest, my lady. That would not be our place. It is His Excellency the King who requests to meet with you.
Well, we have to investigate the court at some point, right? I say we go for it. If something happens, that's...
After a quick discussion, you nod to the guards and agree to follow. Gilded tables line both sides of the hall. The space itself is adorned with all manner of expensive antiques, glass shelves, and silver candlesticks. The items appear... The elderly king, clad in a magnificent robe, he wears above his head a majestic crown, with a gemstone the size of a bird's egg set right at the very front. As you observe it, there, a man dressed in dark clothes, likely a minister, shields his mouth with his hands and bends down to whisper a few words. After a moment, he lowers his hands and stands back up.
The king does not appear entirely...
The king remains still and says nothing. Esteemed guests, allow me to thank you for coming to our faraway kingdom. Unfortunately, His Majesty the King finds himself... I've heard tell that your group, the Marechaussee Hunters, used your exceptional ability with the sword to repel. However, seeing that I was not fortunate enough to observe such a feat with my own eyes, you'll forgive me.
Well, we've got nothing to hide. You brought us here to talk, right? The golem's blades were so powerful, they could cut down... Well, there was enough details.
Your account does indeed match those of the survivors, since you were the ones who defeated the monster.
Well, how did he know about...
Then I must ask that you return it...
Wait, but didn't you just say that our great deed deserved a reward? Shouldn't the treasure be considered a...
Yes, that was indeed. Only that which is freely given by the king can be considered a reward. Taking the rightful wealth of a kingdom without said...
But that's... Yeah, that makes no sense! If it weren't for us, the treasure would still be buried in...
Maybe so, yet the fact remains. You tried to dispose of the treasure without reporting it to the court, and with... What? No answer? Surely you're not insinuating that you, a group of legendary...
Well, what about the king? Is he just gonna let...
Clad in his magnificent robe, the king remains seated, with his hands resting on either side of the throne. His posture is rigid.
From the look... I would like to observe the number of...
The guards in the palace appear fully armed, their expressions solemn. Sensing the tense atmosphere in the room, they stand at the ready.
Well, there goes my plan to turn the whole place upside down.
It appears we've been visited by nothing more than a group of ill-intentioned imposters. What a pity. Before I decide your fate, however, I must first determine whether you have any...
Can't we try to slip away? Or maybe start some kind of riot?
But if we try to fight the guards right now... Don't worry. At least we figured out who's behind all this. Let's just play it by ear. If you're...
thanks, Hika.
You allow yourself to be led away by guards, so it's only when you begin to feel drops of water falling from the dungeon ceiling and smell the stench of death and decay all around you. Stay here, and don't... The guards lock the cell door and leave without looking...
Wait, sir!
Your voice echoes through the dark hall, but the only response you...
No!
Carve out a new path of fate with our own two...
You reach toward your waist, but find nothing there.
what about that knife I hid in my book?
When did you hide it in there?
When I was thinking about digging a tunnel.
Rejected. You failed to inform the GM of this course of action. Moreover, the guards would have conducted a thorough...
And the keys to the cell aren't anywhere to be seen?
Correct. You don't even feel a lock hole on the cell.
Well...
Indeed.
Huh? Why are you the one saying indeed?
Because that statement holds true for me as well. Generally speaking, this should be the point where the scriptwriter gives the players some kind of hint.
I mean, maybe they just really wanted us to be immersed in the feeling of being in prison?
That it...
If only there were desserts and tea and real...
Oh, before I forget, I took a closer look, and the craftsmanship doesn't appear to resemble anything from this era.
Wait, Cloran said that sword used to belong to her master, right? Does that mean...
I doubt it. The way she went about...
Hang on.
Master left many... I gave you the sword...
Wait.
After the duel...
Before that, after the duel, though, there was a period of time where we simply didn't know how to face... We were both sad and conflicted. Whenever I looked at back then...
No one can change...
Yep.
I'm sorry. Thinking that...
Un po' meglio dell'Hangout, ma peggio. Di la noia.
Looks like the next...
Perfect. From Cloran's face.
Water continues to drip from the ceiling. In this light, eventually, you get used to the unpleasant odor of straw, mold, and rust. Suddenly, you hear footsteps outside the...
Heads up, everyone. Someone's come.
Gather close, everyone. I work as a guard in these dungeons, but my true identity... Shh! I've already sent away the other guards.
But I understand, but how can we be sure we can...
The king has issued a formal decree. In light of the irrefutable proof of your crime, you're to be executed before tomorrow's sunrise. If you want to escape...
Executed? We barely...
Monsters appearing at the same location as the treasure.
There will be time for speculation once we're out of here. As for my identity, I have no way to prove infiltrating the capital was difficult, and finding a chance to speak with you has taken a lot out of me. I could go on, but I think we can all agree that now is not the...
Have you seen our weapons anywhere, sir?
Don't worry, I brought them with me. They're just behind the door. Still, these weapons alone won't be... His faction is too powerful. The guards are all under his control, and he's even stationed enough to defeat him. You must find a secret vault. It is said that within that vault, the Marechaussee hunters of the past left behind a treasure with the power...
You're not coming with us?
No. I'll remain in the dungeons to deal with the guards. I'll try my best. As long as my identity is not revealed, I'll be able to aid you when the final battle comes.
In that case, please stay safe.
Thank you for your concern. As for the location of the vault, here, this map should lead you there.
Got it.
All right. Once I open the door, remember to stick close and refrain from making... You now have the chance to restore the honor and legacy of the Marechaussee hunters, and be sure to...
With the help of the guard, you successfully escape the dungeons. Your sense of despair and...
Wait, we didn't get to use our skills at all while we were in prison. Who knows when we're gonna get the chance to use that cool sudden spell?
That is a pity, but we can only continue to move forward.
Hold the line!
That hurts!
Nice and spicy!
Shine down!
Wind strata!
This should be the place marked on the map.
This bit of rock certainly...
Well, I'd say an investigation's in order then. Plus, if all else fails...
Wow, you...
Before you lies a serene stretch of open water. Its surface ship...
Well, guess this means it's time for...
What's the matter?
It's... As you step into the cave, you find yourself in an eerily quiet...
Wow, this must be where the...
But this door is blocking our way in. It almost looks...
Huh. What have we got down here?
A pattern on a stone door.
Something wrong, Clip?
After a long, difficult journey, you finally arrive at the location indicated. Your surroundings are exceedingly quiet and serene, as if the secret that slumbers here has never once been disturbed.
That description...
We're doing this for the sake of the people, to free them from the evil sorcerer.
Lyney's right. We need to keep the next part of this...
Yes. Something feels...
Something here, too.
Same here.
Something just appeared.
By solving the puzzles, you prove you're at the end of each puzzle
with
a key.
Oh, it must be the key to the big door.
This is one of them. It is said that 4... Huh? You hear a few strange noises. Suddenly, all the torch...
What's going on? Did we...
For the sake of immersion, please close your eyes, everyone.
But Paimon can still see a little bit over here. Oh, right. Sorry.
Suddenly, you hear the sound of footsteps.
There's someone else here?
I've been discovered then?
Wait, that voice...
You recognize the voice as belonging to the guard who led you to this place. It appears he now covets...
Oh, so this is just part of the script. Well, if we can't see anything, that means we can't fight to the fullest of our...
Judging by the way he's holding...
Retreat! That's not the hunter way. If it's dark...
Your choice is noted. Please keep your eyes closed until I tell you the torches have been relit.
You got it!
Well then.
Iniziamo.
Ready. Time to testify.
I'd like to try to hit him with my sword.
Your strike is successful.
Ha! You're facing a veteran Marechaussee hunter. You don't... Is he still standing? Goodness, he sure has a lot of HP.
Is it over? Can we open...
The enemy is strong and relentless. But
what about now?
Final strike. Ha!
Well, did we get it?
Warm fire flickers across the walls once more. Your vision is now clear. In an impressive display of courage, the four of you succeed. That look in his eyes.
Huh? Oh, wait. We're supposed to be role-playing. Speak your name, guard. Why did you leave? Is this treasure really more important to you than...
But King I, Florian, am a true Marechaussee hunter.
So he's also using his real name. Or, wait.
Then I'm even more confused. If you truly are a Marechaussee hunter, shouldn't you want to...
What do you know? In this day and age, there's no glory to be had as a Marechaussee.
What's that supposed to mean?
My skills were passed down to me by my father. We lived a life of obscurity in the remote wilderness. Still, and what did he get in return? A life of poverty and pain. In a world that forgot the Marechaussee hunters were the ones who saved this city. We're heroes. We deserved more.
Is he talking? So that's why you want to take the treasure for yourself? You feel like you're owed fame and wealth?
If you already knew what...
Because...
Only a true Marechaussee hunter, as someone who sought to hurt others.
Okay, but...
You're sure you want to...
We've been talking about it for so long. Of course we want to see what...
And we've already defeated Florian, right? So he won't...
What?
Then let's open the door together.
All right. Before you, the door to the treasure, sealed and undisturbed. You hear the shrill wail of the door hinge as it rotates for the first time after years of disuse. Almost like a sleeping...
It's open! Come on, let's go in! Paimon wants to see what's inside!
Ooh, me too! Ugh, uncovering hidden treasure is the most exciting part of it.
A stone tablet?
You call this a treasure map? What's more...
Maybe the troop ran out of budget at the end?
They provided a super immersive experience at the beginning only to drop the ball at the most important part? They could have at least filled this place with cardboard mortars!
Wait, I get it now. Paimon.
This...
Whoa, are you okay?
The Marechaussee hunter before you appears to suffer a serious mental breakdown. One of you seems to understand the significance of the treasure already. If the rest of you wish to follow suit... So, how are you doing? Do you remember?
I remember now. I brought you here because I wanted to...
You mean these?
Huh?
I could tell something was off the moment I stepped into this cave, so I kept an eye out.
So the strongest champion duelist in all...
I deserve some answers. Everything you said earlier sounded like the truth. Luckily, your monologue was dramatic.
I don't know. I just always felt like there was something in my heart that didn't belong to me. The feelings about my father and the other Marechaussee hunters are real. It just wasn't fair. I was angry, bitter that no one... I don't know when it started, but at some point...
But if the treasure was... From your description, I suspect...
Devorator?
Oh, your master... your father, I mean. Never...
No, I've heard of it. I'm just not sure... Wait, it can't be.
The sea...
My family, my father and... But...
The Devorator would be a formidable adversary for any mortal being. Even one, if you lacked the power to completely destroy it, you could easily fall prey to its influence and corruption. In light of this, some Marechaussee hunters chose to seal the Devorator away.
I heard it has the power to amplify the obsessions and desires in people's hearts, to the point where they overtake you entirely. It would seem I'm not just
And yet...
One of them belongs... I know just the only way
I won't comment on...
Well, I did pour my heart and soul in the stories my father used to tell me about the glory of the heroic Marechaussee hunters.
It's more than just a story.
Huh?
You're proud. Then explain the purpose of the evil sorcerer. Isn't he the true antagonist?
But I've already tainted...
Wake up, Florian. Do you really think the hunters acted out of a desire for honor and glory? Or to be... You do not wield your sword for yourself, but to protect those you serve. There's nothing... Do you still not understand?
You're right.
I wouldn't be...
I know.
Good. Then, come with me. And help me see the script.
Huh? No, I mean...
Then we'll just have to keep writing it.
You mean...
Is that really so?
You aren't afraid?
I know what my friends...
Then...
Adesso non leggo più.
They're back!
That took a while.
Ahem! My fellow Marash...
Tone, it's...
After crossing swords with you and witnessing your courage in battle, I confess, I was brave.
That little... Wait.
That's right. To be perfectly honest, the treasure...
The names of all the Marechaussee...
Wait, you...
Of course.
We just finished reading through the content of the stone tablet.
That tablet recorded the lives of some fascinating... She inherited... So... She was just like... Oh...
Well, when you put it that way, I suppose working as an
Their lives were all so exciting. You could write so many cool books about their accomplishments.
Because... they chose to be. To hunt monsters at only...
And this stone tablet...
That's right. The only time they...
So... No wonder this place was so well hidden.
You regard the tablet proved their legacy.
Father... Thank you, my friend. I implore you, everyone.
Well, sounds good to me.
I have no objections, but... Mr. Flor...
Huh?
What if... GM?
At first glance, these blades...
So basically, take these with us, right?
I'll take this weapon, since it used to belong to us.
Ah, good idea. I'll take Mr. Walter's bow then. From one archer-magician to another.
Paimon's gonna pick...
As you grip your weapons, you can almost feel the will of past hunters coursing through...
Mr. Florian, do you know where to find...
I was able to see it. We must be extremely...
Then why don't we...
No, we have...
I agree with Mr...
Yeah, now that we've got a plan, there's no...
Yes, that's what's called... Yes.
All right,
Mr. Florian?
Of course.
He had to set up so many...
Finally, you decide to... As you walk away... Finally, you arrive at the church Florian. As you approach, an ominous aura
strange.
Now, it is time for the final battle.
Let's go!
Florian, wait.
What's wrong?
I think you should wait outside. You've already been corrupted by the Devorator once. I don't think it's a good idea for you to be this close. If it corrupts you...
That's exactly why I have to go. Yes.
That's too risky.
I understand, but if I do this, you'll have the Devorator will have a heart. You're not like me. Consider it a duel to restore.
Then, as a champion duelist, I hereby accept your request for a duel. The battle is now upon us. Let the Devorator once again tremble under...
Huh?
So lifelike.
This foe is not invincible. You hold the treasure. The power to defeat it in your own 2 hands.
The treasure? You mean... the names! It's the Marechaussee Hunters' names!
How are we supposed to...
You forget, Paimon? There's still one skill we saved until the very end.
Hunters fight not for fame, but to aid the people whenever they are summoned.
Walter the Marechaussee Hunter, master of 1,000 tricks, executioner of the Phantom Hunters, I call for aid!
Est, the Marechaussee Hunter, inheritor of Cassiodor's will, judge of the Shadow Hunters. Answer my call! Petronia, protector of justice and order, the hunter I respect the most. Thank you for saving my friend, the best one I'll ever know. Please, lend us your strength!
We have come to answer your summons. And so, The monsters were eradicated. Peace soon returned to the capital. Those in some remembered the names of the heroes who saved their kingdom, but others simply continued their lives none the wiser. Such is the story of the Marechaussee Hunters. They pursue them. They will always protect the city and those within it, even should all memory of their accomplishment. Yes.
It's a pretty solid story overall. I thought it was just an ordinary adventure at first, but the further we got into it, that final battle especially.
Oh, right. Ah, that's a really good point. I never expected the weapons we...
Yeah, mine nearly scared the daylights out of me when it started glowing. I took a good look at it after... Oh, we should probably give these props back, right?
Did you have a good time?
Of course.
Sure, no problem.
Then I'll head back for now. I think once Mr. Florian is awake, please pass on...
You're right. He's...
Well, see... Okay, so...
I think it should be...
What in the world?
That time in the cave when you told us to close our eyes, it'd be weirder if we didn't.
I was dying of curiosity the entire time. I mean, you did a pretty bang-up job of pretending nothing had gone wrong. Karina actually looked...
Guess none of us wanted to be the one to break the illusion.
What are you all talking about?
Oh, wait.
Yes.
It's probably more accurate to say this was...
What?
So loud.
Hey, you! Get up right now! Did Paimon just hear that right? It's not nice to lie to people.
Yeah, it was...
If Paimon knew something was wrong with that vault, she would have floated straight in the opposite...
Everything was under control.
As if you...
Guess I'm just used to it.
You...
As for you, I would say, you may have been blind. You'll be far more...
But...
Of course. As far as I'm concerned...
Thank you so... Until we meet...
Speaking of Marechaussee Hunters, what should we do?
Leave it be.
Are you sure? We could show it to people, make it so that the hunters are...
No. I am no exception.
That's certainly very different.
Wait!
That's because the
Oh.
Well, I'm...
Oh?
This particular... The names you recite...
So the names...
Navia.
Huh? Oh, I
really appreciated those...
All right, anyway.
She ran off!
I should probably head back as well. This story was true.
Traveler. Should you...
I suppose the significant...
A great answer. I'll remember it. Me, the Marechaussee Hunter, says nothing in response to that. Perhaps her answer lies in her silence. And
Ok, possiamo farci qualche video tanto per buttarle via. trovato. Ce l'avevamo. Sfiga proprio. Faccio 500 toma. Niente, come al solito va male. Sì. Va bene, quindi sarà tutto.